So my wife said, if you saw her Facebook Live, do better. So I'm gonna try to do a little better and give you a video that I hope will help. In times like this, and what I mean by times like this, whether you're a Trump fan or not, or whether you're a supporter of Putin or not, or whether you're a supporter of China or Taiwan, there's always something, an issue that compels you to feel a certain way. Things that make people want to feel upset, march, protest, whatever it happens to be. There's something in this world that you wish were better. And I'm going to speak to you because I think that at times like this, people need leaders. People march, they're frustrated, they're angry, they need to express themselves, and people march, people boycott, they do whatever. But at the end of the day, people go back to their homes, and you look around and say, did that matter? Did it help? And when I'm looking around that, and I tell Sasha a lot, I see there's a lack of leadership, trying to give people hope, trying to direct their anger, try to direct their feelings towards something productive that will make a difference. And so it's time for people like myself who lead organizations or are seen as leaders for better or for worse, need to do something and need to help people, guide them, instruct them. Can't tell people what to do, but you can give them a vision, support, direction that can help perhaps give them a hope and a place to focus their frustrations through action. But I want you to know that I'm not speaking to just liberals, and nor am I speaking to just conservatives. There's a lot conservatives and liberals have in common. So before I start to preach, before I start to lead, let me do a little bit of mini leadership by providing some perspective. I would like to ask how many of you out there have actually read the Constitution of the United States of America. If you haven't, there's plenty of web pages with it written word for word, with sections that have been added, taken out, etc. on the web. I'll leave a link below to what I use sometimes to reference the Constitution. But I take it upon yourself to read the articles of the Constitution that define what the president can do, what Congress can do, and what the Supreme Court can do. And I would like you to look at that and say, wait a second. You'll notice there are things there that our president, the president of the United States, sorry, those of you who aren't American, the president of the United States does that are not written in the Constitution. A conservative is someone, by definition, who follows the word of the law, who believes in structure, and to be conservative meaning to follow the policies and the procedures as they're stipulated by law. If you are someone who believes in the Constitution, you are by definition a conservative. Has nothing to do with your religion, has nothing to do with what you believe, really, but your position on the Constitution. That is the definition of a conservative. So if someone tells you they're conservative, that may be their opinion. But the real conservatives are those who look at the Constitution and say, this is what we should adhere to. Therefore, changes in society take a conservative stint. They wait for the legislative wheels and cogs to move, and sometimes it can take forever. That is a conservative. A liberal, on the other hand, is different. At times, even though laws can be there to protect everyone, sometimes you're behind the eight ball. Sometimes you're disenfranchised, you're disadvantaged. For instance, in the Constitution of the United States, it stated that no property or no person who is a forced laborer has the right to be free by running to another state. That's the Constitution. That was the law of the land. So if you were following the law of the land, doesn't necessarily make you a racist, but you believe pass a constitutional amendment, change the law. But in reality, sometimes that does not happen, and people are left behind. And so they say, well, enough with the law. Let's ignore it, or let's be flexible about how we see it, or let's just make a change because it's right. And that's being liberal with the Constitution. And there's nothing wrong with that, with a capital W at all, but it's a different perspective. However, those who are conservative, who follow the law, the Constitution of the United States was based out of people being liberal with the law of England. Okay, so at the end of the day, what liberals and conservatives have in common is that the society you look for is based on people acting, people being involved. Your protest of the United States, your protest of the president isn't going to make a difference. It's your actions, whether you decide to boycott, to strike, to run for office even, or work with your congressman or congress-lady or whomever that person may be, or get civically active. The point is to act, The point is to be organized and to make a difference and to do something that impacts and changes things. So at some point, you become the conservative because the law reflects you. And hopefully, you create laws that allow for liberalisms, for changes to occur when they're right and when they need to happen. So as I speak to you and as I continue this series on trying to explain to you, and I will explain what's going on in the world and what you can do in your country, in your city, to make a difference, keep in mind that a conservative and a liberal have in common the fact that the societies that they live under are the product of people being active. The conservative is simply a liberal who's gotten what they wanted or believes that the system is for them. Because let's be honest, if all the laws were in your advantage, then you wouldn't be pushing for change. You'd be a conservative. Let's create a world where we all have the opportunity to be advantaged by the laws around us. And let's take action so that those laws go into effect. And that those who represent us and those who look like us or don't look like us feel like there's a place for them where they're treated fairly and with respect and dignity. So nonetheless, as part of being a leader, it starts with education and providing a vision. I want to let you know where I'm coming from. I'll be speaking to everyone as I continue with these. And hopefully, as my wife has requested a lot of us to do, try to do better for myself, for my family, and for those out there who do not have the opportunity to lead or to speak. I hope I do you service, and I thank you very much for your time.